In today's digital world, information moves faster than ever before. News travels across screens in seconds, reaching millions in an instant. But in the rush to inform, something else is happening. Behind the headlines, behind the endless scrolling feeds, there are forces shaping what we see and how we see it. What feels like reality may not always be the truth. Because in a world driven by information, control over that information is power. Media manipulation happens when information is carefully shaped to influence how people think, feel, and respond. It doesn't always look obvious. Sometimes it's subtle, almost invisible. Facts can be selected or left out. Stories can be framed in different ways until one version feels more believable than others. Over time, the line between truth and distortion begins to blur, and when multiple versions of reality compete for attention, it becomes harder to know what's real and what isn't.
Imagine a financial puzzle where over 4.5 billion US dollars simply vanished from a nation's public reserve. It wasn't lost to a bad stock market or a sudden economic crash. It was systematically taken. This is the reality of the 1MDB scandal, a historic event that completely reshaped Malaysia. Our story begins in 2009. The government set up a special wealth fund named the One Malaysia Development Berhad, or 1MDB. The official plan sounded wonderful. The fund will bring in foreign investment to build clean energy projects and boost tourism, directly helping everyday citizens. But behind closed doors, a very different story was being written. A young financier named Jolo, working alongside the Prime Minister Najib Razak, quietly turned this public fund into a personal pipeline.
Instead of constructing schools, upgrading infrastructure, or helping communities, billions of dollars were diverted into a complex global web of offshore shell companies and private bank accounts. The money traveled across borders into financial hubs like Switzerland, Singapore, New York, and London. From there, it was used to fund an unimaginably lavish lifestyle. Stolen public money bought a 250-foot luxury super yacht, high-end real estate, and rare masterworks by artists like Monet and Picasso. In a strange twist of irony, the siphoned state assets were even used to completely finance a major Hollywood movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, a film entirely about financial fraud. To the rest of the world, it looked like incredible wealth, but back home, the massive debt was quietly piling up on the shoulders of ordinary taxpayers.
But a financial trail that massive eventually leaves a footprint. By 2015, brave whistleblowers and investigate journalists leaked internal data exposing the fund's massive billions in debt to the world. The public reaction was historic, culminating in the 2018 general election where citizens voted the ruling government out of office. This opened the floodgates for international criminal investigations. The legal consequences finally caught up with the people at the top. The case reached a major milestone when the High Court found former Prime Minister Najib Razak guilty on all 25 counts of abuse of power and money laundering. The court ruled that the defense claimed that the billions were just a donation from Saudi royalty was simply impossible to believe. Najib was handed a 15-year prison sentence to be served after his current jail term, along with a historic 11.4 billion ringgit fine.
Meanwhile, Jolo, the man who helped engineer the entire system, vanished into thin air and remains an international fugitive on this day. Ultimately, the story of 1MDB isn't just about staggering numbers of luxury items, it stands as a grounded, real-world lesson about what happens when systematic greed goes unchecked. While billions of ringgit have successfully been recovered by investigators, the country is still left paying off remaining debt that stretch far into the future. A reminder that when a few people throw a multi-billion-dollar party, it is the public that get left with the bill.
Yesterday, I listened to an interview from public speaking about 1MDB scandals. The 1MDB scandals always felt like a massive global jigsaw puzzle, too ideal equal. It boils down to three main players: Jolo, former Prime Minister Najib Razak, and a Saudi company. But Wafi sees it as something much deeper, a massive system of corruption that dragged in powerful politicians and influencers. Matching Shuhaila points that this local mess quickly exploded into an international drama reaching Switzerland and the UK. But as the story grew, it left us with a bigger question. Did we actually see the full picture? Not even close. Wafi points out that the government straight up silenced media outlets for speaking out. Because of that cover-up, media believe crucial facts were hidden just to protect people at the top. For Ikhwan, the money trail was simply too complex for a standard news clip anyway, while Shuhaila notes that a lot of it is locked away as confidential data that we aren't allowed to see. So how do we find the truth? We read between the lines. Nida checks the source citation first. Ikhwan compressed both the left and right political spectrum to find a balance. Shuhaila uses quick Google searches, and Wafi sticks strictly to trusted independent sites like the Star or Malaysia Kini. Ultimately, 1MDB taught us to stop blindly trusting our feeds, ask questions, and hunt for the fact ourselves.